Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invests. And what a crazy week we had last week, right? And I think we're gonna see that continue into next week. Obviously, everything going on here with GME and AMC, I've posted 2 videos. I would highly recommend you watch the first one because, it sort of goes through some of the things I think about where this is all going to head and what this is going to cause in the market, right? But I have a little thesis for you guys as well. But we'll start off here with just some of the other things that happened last week. We had Tesla earnings, right? And that was pretty much it. There was a few other things, but they all kind of got overshadowed here by this GME, AMC craze that we've been seeing. They were okay, but again, we saw Tesla fall on earnings like we usually do, and then we kind of see a flat, and then we usually jump up later on a catalyst. So I do see the same thing happening here again with Tesla. Again, I'm just holding all my shares there. But anyways, let's get more into this AMC GME thing again. No, I do not think it's going to be over on Monday. I think we're going to continue to kind of see an uptrend. There's been a little bit of confusion on kind of the amount of short interest on AMC right now, and it's not as high as some people think. It's about 15% of shares outstanding, which is about 45 to 50% of shares float, right? Short interest of shares float. So that's pretty good. 50%-ish, 45%-ish, that's still pretty good. And we're still going to see a run from that. We're still going to see a squeeze from that, but it's not going to be anything like GME, and GME is still more heavily shorted than AMC right now. And so GME at $300, I think could quite easily go to $1,000. And this is pure speculation though, because nobody really knows where any of these stocks are going to go. But again, it's not about the money, right? It's about, finally having a truly free market. It's about, going after some of these hedge funds who have been making money off of us as retail investors for too long and doing it in a way that isn't right and isn't fair through manipulation, right? And so that's what this is really all about. I'll tell you guys right now, I've got about $5,500 between AMC and GME right now. And, I'm okay with losing 100% of that money as long as it makes a change here for us as retail investors and that we finally have more of a free market again. I look at it like a risk reward aspect here too. $6,000 could turn into, $20 or $30, $40, $50,000 here, right? But if I lose the $6,000, then I lose the $6,000. So there's a risk reward aspect you have to look at. You can make a lot more money here than you can lose. That's the first thing. But that being said, there are a lot of people that are going to lose. Once we get to those sort of highs that we're expecting, people are going to start exiting the market. And when they do, that's going to push down the price heavily. And you can only go down a maximum of 100% here, right? So if we're up, let's say at $100 on AMC and people start exiting some of their positions, we're going to see the price come down and down and down. And then, if we come down 90%, we're going to be back at that $4 level. So it's amazing that the trust that sort of this community has right now, where nobody's selling, everyone's continuing to buy and continuing to hold to try and screw over these short sellers finally, right? And it's great to see, and that's why I'm holding and I'm not selling either. But I was talking to my friend yesterday, and there's sort of this thesis that, he came up with and, I agreed with, and we sort of had a little chat about, and that's this. If the SEC and some of the regulators do something about this, and stop some of these hedge funds in these short positions, and they hold the short sellers accountable here for their actions, then I think we're going to see a bull market, because then retail investors and a lot of other investors throughout the world are going to see that and say, I want to be part of this finally free market here. Without manipulation, or less manipulation, let's say. And, it's going to cause a big influx of, again, more money into the market, and that'll continue sort of this bull run that we've been seeing over the last few months here. I would even argue about 4 months to 5 months ago is where this bull market really started, right? If these regulators do something about it, we're going to see this euphoria in the stock market continue. we're going to see people trusting in the market, right? And that's going to be regardless of whether more people make money or lose money here throughout this. But if regulators and if the SEC and FINRA and all this don't do anything about this, then there's going to be mistrust in the market. People are going to think they're getting manipulated more and that they can't do anything about that. And with that, the short sellers will have then won, and then people are going to exit the market because the euphoria again won't be there, and the free market won't be there, and that's going to make people exit the market because they don't trust in the market, right? So, and in that scenario, we're going to see more of a bear market in the next few years because again, people are not willing to invest into the market because they don't believe that it's free or fair. So SEC, if you're listening out there, you really have to do something about this, because if you don't, then we're not going to see a continued bull market over the next year here. And if you do, I think we will. But regardless of that, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to lose a lot of money on this, like I've already said, right? So do keep that in mind. But again, it's not about the money, right? It's about making a change. And we're already seeing some of that change being made now. We have AOC on our side. We have Republicans and Democrats here coming together and trying to deal with this issue and trying to solve this issue. And, when that happens, that synergy happens where, even Republicans and Democrats can find a common ground, I think there's going to be change that will happen, and it's going to be good for the stock market in general here. And I know he's not a regulator, but even Elon Musk here is on our side, right? And that's amazing to see, all retail investors here really banding together. But let's talk about the markets last week a little bit, because again, within all of our big stocks, we kind of saw a downturn in the general market. And there's a few reasons for that, right? And the first one is that uncertainty is high. Volatility is very high. That's the second one. And there's this rotation going on in the stock market right now where people are exiting some of the positions in the stocks that they like, right? In sort of the F cells, in the plugs, right? And moving that money into, AMC, into GME, and these sort of hype stocks, because they're trying to make a change and they're trying to make that quick money, right? And those three things in combination are kind of the reason why we haven't seen the stock market do well this past week in general. But, again, we go back to my thesis, and depending on which outcome we have, that's kind of going to sort of lead us into where the stock market's going to be headed in the next few months here, in the next year here, really. But we can't just focus on, AMC and GME. There's plenty of other opportunities out there, especially right now because the general market has been doing badly. And one of those right now is Very Good Food Company. We can see where this price is at right now, right? We came down off those highs again. And this right here is a really good resistance level at the 6.5, right? So if we see us going through this and then coming back up above it, right as we come back up above, that's a great time to buy this stock. Do I see it coming back down to the 5.2 level? Again, it depends what happens next week. If we see a general downtrend in the market again, maybe, but if we do see a downtrend in the market again, we might hit this support level, come below, a little bit below it, and then come back up, right? That's sort of what I think there. This line right here currently is acting as resistance, but again, if we would push above it, again, I think it'll act as some decent support from what we see back here as well. There's a support there. But again, this line right here is much better sort of to see the bottom of this stock again back here too, right? We see support level, we come back up. So generally that's a really good support. Obviously down here, this is great support as well, but I think it's unlikely that we're going to hit this price again. The 7.2 level as well is another one to watch. If we push above this again, I think this is going to act as support. For now, it may act as a little bit of a resistance as well, but I see this line more for support here. And again, this one as well acts heavily as resistance. We don't see great support from this one, but really good resistance on this. So again, we might see it come back up. We could push back down to about this line here, I think, after that. So right now, again, pretty good time to buy. And again, Tesla at 793 is actually not a bad price either. I don't see us coming back down to anything close to the $600 level, so you can forget about that. But, on the upside here, yes, it's a high price still, and how much room do they have to run here? I think still quite a lot. There's a lot of things Tesla's doing right now. Data collection for EVs and that autonomous driving, they're going to be number one there, and they're going to be number one in car sales again. And this is just one that if you're not invested in Tesla, buy Tesla. And fuel cell, again, one of my favorites. We're at close to all-time highs here. If we're looking for a level to buy, I would say around the 1961 level is pretty good, so watch out for that. Coming in next week here too, we could see that, because again, like I've been saying, with sort of this AMC GME craze we're seeing and this high volatility, high uncertainty, we might see a continued downtrend in the market. And that's where it's a good time to pick up these shares of stocks which you actually like and you want to pick up more and you see big growth from. Because honestly, fuel cell, I see really at a much higher price than the $20 we're at now. And I don't want to give you guys a price target really, but between $40 and $50, I would say, in the next 6 months. And again, that all depends on what happens here in the market with GME and AMC. It's all riding on this, guys. This is the big thing going on right now. And it really depends on if regulators are going to push down on these hedge funds or not, at the end of the day. So keep an eye out for that. If you're looking to buy these stocks, next week, if we continue seeing a downturn, it might be a good spot. But again, if we don't see any change here from this, we might see sort of a bear market continue. And that's when I would be thinking about selling some of my shares, which have run up so much over the past few months, but not until then. Right now, I'm just holding and looking for opportunities to buy. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video today. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment as always. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys for the craziness on Monday morning.